What's good? What's good out there? Welcome back to another episode of Raw Crypto Talks. Today, we're going to be taking a look at some crypto news. We're going to be looking at the top 10 to see what's going on in Bitcoin and pretty much wherever most of the value is in cryptocurrency. That's where we're going to be taking a peek. We may look into basically what Capitol Hill is hearing about cryptocurrency. And we're going to definitely get into our wallet setup event later on. So, welcome to Raw Crypto Talks Thursdays. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get it going. We will be coming at y'all from CoinGecko. All right, so for those who don't know about CoinGecko, CoinGecko is one of the biggest coin aggregators out there, right? Basically, what it does is it takes what's going on with pretty much with some of the biggest cryptocurrencies, and it makes it so that it's easy to view and see it all in order, right? Just in layman's terms, like I try. Just as an example, right? If I was curious to know how well, yeah, so that's why we take a look to see what Bitcoin's doing. So Bitcoin is up roughly 6% for today, and it's still holding a market cap of over 700 billion, which is still a great amount of crypto. I think it's that's almost half, right? It used to be third, but almost half of cryptocurrency's value is in Bitcoin, right? So, and remember, this is more so from the market cap perspective. Ethereum is down 1.4 for the day, but they're up 11% for the week. It's a good move. USDT is just USDT. It's gonna be where it's gonna be, right? It's there to stay at $1. That's the point of it. Makes liquidity a whole lot easier, and what I mean by that is if I want to trade this for that, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna be trading somewhere with Tether, right? So if I have Bitcoin and I want to trade into Binance, if I can't just trade directly from one to the other, then I have to sell my Bitcoin to Tether and then use my Tether to get Binance, right? And simply that's about how that works. If you run into a marketplace where where you can't make those kind of trades, look for the dollar equivalent. Definitely make sure that dollar equivalent is somewhere in the top 20 of all the currencies, right? Next we got Binance Coin, just what I was talking about. Coming in at number 4, Binance Coin is up almost 1% for the day. After that, we have USDC, another dollar coin. Same type of utility, right? When you're thinking about investing in the cryptocurrency, one of the things you want to look at is utility. That's one of the most important things about cryptocurrency is its utility, and that's what gives us its value. Well, that and the people. Next, we got Cardano sitting at number 6. Cardano's up 2% for the day, roughly 0.9% for the week. Cardano is one of those. It's one of those scalable protocols, right? It inhibits certain aspects that other chains may consider an exploit, right? But we're not gonna get too deep into that. Just know that Cardano is definitely a big player, and that's just due to its security and scalability, in my personal and humble opinion. Let's see. Next up, we got Solana. Solana is sitting at $100, right? They were higher. Solana swings heavy a lot. They are down. Was that 1.7% for the day, but they're up 12% for the week, which is, if you put $100 in here last week, right? Your $100 would have made roughly $12, right? And that's kind of where it's the easiest way to do that math. Next, we got XRP. XRP is up 1.6 today. Terra Luna is up 6% today, moving in at number 9. Okay, Terra, I see you. Next, we got Polkadot. Polkadot sitting solidified at 10. And hey, that's the top 10 for the day. Polkadot is neither up nor down for the day, by the way, but they're up 3% for the week. So, hey, yeah, that's the top 10 right there. So one of the things that I ran into today, or not necessarily today, I'll say this week. One of the things I ran into this week was just how our government views cryptocurrency, right? And I thought it was when I say our government, I mean at your Senate hearings, right? There are certain things that happen at Senate hearings, certain types of information that get put out, and a lot of times, it's basically our legislature asking what's going on and how can we make laws for this. I guess that's how it's supposed to be. It does not always work out like that. So I wanted to play this quick excerpt here because I thought it was pretty fascinating. All right, give me a second here.
Digital assets.
Because so the thing I like about this is this is gonna break it down pretty easily. I probably should just put it up here. It might look redundant, but whatever. Let's do it. Well, let's pull this up here. Everybody might not be able to hear it. That's fine. I'll just play it from here.
Back from digital assets and blockchain for a moment. Let's talk about where the internet was, where it's come to, where it's going, right? We're trying to level set here for policymakers. So originally, the internet was a read-only format, in essence. We're consuming information. And then there's additional layers that we place on. It became much more interactive. But counterintuitively, much more interactive, but much more centralized in Web 1, Web 2. What we're hearing now is Web 3. Policymakers need to understand the nature of Web 3. This is a hearing about a component of Web 3. Now, along those lines, what are the characteristics that defined Web 1 and Web 2?
Mr. McHenry, thank you very much for that question. I think that's critical to understanding what we're all trying to build here. So the characteristic of Web 1, if people remember their original AOL account, was an ability to look in a curated walled garden at a set of content that was not interactive but was presented to you on AOL the way that Time magazine used to show you the articles they wanted you to see inside of their magazine. Just you could see it on a screen. The innovation of Web 2 was that suddenly you could not only read content, but you could also write content. This is when the blogosphere became a big thing. People remember this from the late 90s, the early 2000s. The reason for the centralization of the internet, of course, was that all of that activity was being monetized by a very small number of companies. Facebook, as the chairwoman mentions, Google, and 2 or 3 other companies. What makes Web3 different is the ability to own the actual network. And that's what crypto assets themselves represent, is an ownership stake in an underlying network. So when you hear people talk about, for example, layer 1 tokens, what they mean is this is your reward for providing the ledger maintenance services, the computing power to the network that on Web 1 and 2 was done by Google, right? So now people in my hometown of Pueblo, Colorado can actually own the Ethereum network, but they can't own the internet. That's owned by Google and a few other companies. That's what the project of crypto is all about, is allowing people to directly own the networks that have native assets that are supporting it. And that's the nature of decentralization, where the token holders are the people who control the asset, not Google.
Token holders, for our language here on the Hill, those are digital assets, right? Which are the keys to open up the ledger for you to participate, right? So describe to us how those digital assets fit into this internet revolution, Web 3.
So the concept is that you have sort of application layer tokens and you have protocol layer tokens. So if I'm an owner of Bitcoin, let's say that I'm a miner of Bitcoin, somebody who actually creates Bitcoin. The Bitcoin is the reward I receive for doing the work to keep the network operational. And that allows me to own a piece of the Bitcoin blockchain. Or take Ethereum, which is easier to understand. The Ether token represents an ownership stake in the network. But on top of that network are all kinds of apps that get built on the network, much like the apps on your phone depend on the underlying network existing that lets the phone operate. And so people will make judgments about which network is likely to win, and they will invest in the tokens in that network much the same way you might invest in Google stock because you think Google is going to scale access to the original internet. The difference being here, you can vote on what happens in the future of a proof of stake network, for example. You can get rewarded through a proof of work token for maintaining a ledger on something like Bitcoin. But the real message...
And for those who don't know, when he's talking about proof of work and proof of stake, that he's talking about mining, right? That's crypto mining. Those are different styles of crypto mining, right? People who mine for Bitcoin, they use these ASIC miners. Even Ethereum, they use ASIC miners, and all of that is it's essentially a device that is hard coded and built to do the job of thousands of computers in one unit. So yeah, they can get pretty pricey, but the owning of the of pieces or tokens of the network is what gives you the value, right? And that's what gives you the possibility of residual. When people are using what do you see, when like I'm using Xfinity right now, right? Guess what? I pay a fee, you know. If I own, if Xfinity, you know, happened to be like a token, or if Xfinity had their own chain, right, they might sell like an XFi token or something like that, right, that allows people to actually invest and own their technology, right, and it also allows them to vote on it, right. It also gives that person who has that ownership a piece of the infrastructure that goes with that whole entire network. So, but let's see what else he has to say.
Here is that what happens on the decentralized internet is decided by the investors, versus what happens on the main internet is decided by Twitter, Facebook, Google, and a small number of other companies.
Okay, so getting this layer of on digital assets right, for Congress to understand this, everything is built upon that on-ramp to this new internet. So very important for us to be sensitive to how this develops and any actions we take in terms of laws and updating laws to incorporate these new technologies.
Yeah, Mr. McHenry couldn't agree more, and I think when you hear about all of the problems of different big tech companies, the importance of an owner-controlled network becomes clear.
Okay, owner-controlled network rather than a cooperative, right? And
Yes.
thinking in those terms.
Absolutely.
Right? So if you're not a part of management, you're not making a decision in Web 2. If you are a participant in the network, you're making you're cooperating in the making of those decisions.
Exactly right.
Okay. So I ask this not to be insulting to the panel, but to have a level set here so we have an understanding of what we're talking about. This is not simply about you on this panel. It is about trillions of dollars of assets that did not exist before Satoshi wrote his white paper 13 years ago. It's about $3 trillion in notional value at this stage around the development of a whole new range, whole new suite of technology that will be developed across the globe, whether or not the United States embraces it and wants to compete, or if it's pushed offshore. So as policymakers, we need to understand what we're talking about here. This is a small...
See, I like how you put that. He's like, whether it's accepted or whether we reject it. And I guess he's speaking more so from a congressional standpoint, due to the simple fact that you can, even if they did try to push cryptocurrency off, people still are going to use it because it's a asset that is outside of the government's control. So yeah, historically, the tighter the government or the system, right? It even works in science. The tighter things squeeze in on the system, or the more pressure in the system, the more it's going to try to escape. The more it's going to try to find points to find some type of relief. Like, I don't see why the same thing wouldn't happen in this case here, which China already proved that they outlawed crypto. Crypto went up. Right? People freaked out thinking that, oh no, China is outlawing crypto. Oh no. Right? But the Chinese people was like, hey, we're crypto capital of the world, and this is how we feel about it. So, yeah. So it's about closing to the end of this. Let's see.
Important as you may be, a small panel about the discussion about Web3. And so with that, Madam Chair, thank you for having this hearing.
So, essentially, Web3 is what he was getting at. For some who might have missed it, he went over Web 1, Web 2, and then hit Web 3, right? And Web 1, that's like the 80s, right? No, more so 90s, right? Your Netscapes and the CD-ROMs with the internet, with your internet providers on there, and it's there was a lot going on back then I think most of it might have been just emails, right? I send you a message, you send me a message. I believe that was Web 1. Web 2 was more so the integration of the ISPs, right? Where they're making it a little bit accessible to everybody else, right? And Web 2 is what we're more so familiar with right now. It's what Google's built on, XFi. Shit, we all run on Web 2 right now. I'm on Web 2 right now. So, but Web 3 gives you that capability to actually own a piece of the web, right? Like actually owning stock in Xfinity or owning stock in the internet, right? That's just how big it is. So it's like you had your big .com rush. This is probably going to be very similar, right? All right, so but yeah, that's what's going on in news right there. So one of the other things that I said we're going to talk about is Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Bitcoin's chart. I like to look at the candlestick patterns, and I like to throw a couple of indicators on this candlestick pattern here. And the reason why I like to do this is because this gives me a good sense of the momentum of the whole entire market. The market's going to follow Bitcoin. I'm not saying everything's going to follow Bitcoin, but for the most part, the market is going to follow the whale, right? With that being said, let's throw a couple of indicators on here. So we're going to go with a couple of Williams indicators. So we're going to go with the alligator, we're going to go with a fractal, and we're going to go with a MACD. All right. And I'm not going to get too deep into what each of these indicators mean. But I will say this. The reason why I even pulled this up was to get a scope of just how it's moving and maybe have an idea of what people's intentions are, right? You know, we're not looking at these candlestick patterns trying to tell the future. We're just trying to see what's going on, you know? And looking here, right? We've actually been in a decent run, right? A lot of buying pressure right here, which is a good sign for pushing the price up. Not making any assumptions on the price going up, not at all. But there are retracements that happen, which means once the price starts to go up, right, there has to be room for it to retrace, to build up momentum, for that momentum to build up, to push it up even further, right? Which it's kind of the stuff that we're looking for, right? So here we're in February. We'll go back to January a little bit, and the things that I want to see is just a constant progression and step in the upward direction. Personally, blue on top. I'm not a fan of seeing blue on top. I'd rather see green on top. Why? Because in that instance, the market is moving up. So to get a bigger picture, let's actually get off the hour and look at the day. And this will give us a bigger scope of what's going on here. Boom, here. So looking at the day, here's a nice little step up, right? We had a sell-off right here, but it recovered. We're still within this bar right here. So this could be a mangling week. We're gonna see. This doesn't look awesome, but it doesn't look horrible, but it doesn't look awesome. You know, we're still growing in a bar, so yeah, I wouldn't make any huge moves. So, with that being said, hey, that is our top 10. That's the news for today. Now, let's get into the NFT collection and how to collect your bonuses and how to collect your NFT. So, if you did win, guess what? We got your NFT ready. We can't send it to you until we have your receive address. And also, we have a couple of lucky winners who won some crypto. Probably over $100 in crypto. So if you're one of those winners, you definitely might want to get that receive address sent over to us so that we can get you what you need. So, first thing we're going to do is going to come over to beardocrypto.com. All right, as soon as we get here, we can hit this Earn Crypto button at the top, and it's going to take us over to our page that's going to show us the details of our drip bonuses and how they work. Come right back over. So we'll come right back over to our Beardo NFT ownership page, and if you don't know, drip rewards means that you can get into this protocol and then see a 1% growth on whatever you have in this protocol. And by protocol, I mean the this function, this system, the in this program, if you will, right? A bunch of different syllables or words I can go with on here, but so if you won, this is what you need to do. First, figure out if you won. Go over to that win page. If your name's on the list, then you're one of the winners. Second, grab yourself a decentralized wallet. We suggest MetaMask, right? Once you grab yourself MetaMask, come on over here to beardocrypto.com. Link up to our official Discord page. Get your MetaMask downloaded and ready to go. So once your MetaMask is downloaded and ready to go, whether you do that on your phone or whether you do that on the computer, they have both. Here I have the links to the ones for iPhone, Android, and also have the link that you can go to their straight to their webpage and download the browser extension for those who like to use their computers. So next up, how to earn. So once you get your MetaMask wallet, and for those who don't know what MetaMask looks a little like this here, right? Yeah, it's a little orange fox. This is what the graphics look like. Most of the colors are just white and this blue color, right? Not a lot going on there. It's a very simple wallet, and that's what you want. So after we get that wallet, we want to add our Polygon to our MetaMask. And what I mean by that is you want to add Polygon network, right? Just like what we heard on the video, these different networks are you have different. Let's look at it like this, right? If you look at this like a city, right? You have Ethereum City, you got Polygon City, and you got Binance City, right? Now take city off, just put network on. That's where we're going with this, right? So if I want to shop in Ethereum City, I gotta pay Ethereum gas fees, right? So what it means, if I'm over there trading, then I have to pay the fees in Ethereum to trade, right? If I'm trading Ethereum for Uniswap token, right? Well, guess what? If I want to trade those, fees have to go back into the network. This is the question I'm asking you. Why would you shop at a more expensive store where you can get the same stuff at a cheaper store for cheaper, right? And that's the methodology behind this, right? But we're not going to get too deep into that. The way you add, once you get your wallet set up, right? Once you get your, once you download your MetaMask and you save your keys, right? And you create your password, then you're good to go, right? Come on over here and hit this add button. You'll go over to chainlist.org. So chainlist.org is going to let you add your networks very, very easily, very easily. So once we get here, we're going to connect our wallet by hitting this connect button. Once we hit the connect wallet button, it's going to ask us to, do we approve the connection, right? We'll say yes. Then we come over here to the search bar and we're going to type in BNB, right? And we hit search. Hold on here. I think this page maybe I think this page needs a refreshing here. Hold on. Let's try that again. All right, so hopefully we're all set here. All righty, there we go. All right, so once we get over here, I'm gonna connect our wallet. Once our wallet is all connected, then we're just gonna hit search BNB, right? I typed in BNB, you'll see Binance Smart Chain come up, and this is Binance Network. So instead of doing it the manual way where you got to add all these numbers and links and all this other stuff, you just hit this add to MetaMask button and voila. You follow the prompts. When you can't see my wallet pop up right now, but what's going to happen is, and this happens similarly on the phone as well, but it's going to request to add that network to your wallet, giving you access to that network. You hit add to MetaMask and like I said, you're done. Then we're going to come over here at the same spot. We're going to type in Matic, right? Or Polygon, whatever you prefer. It's the same thing. So Polygon. And then I'm going to hit the add to MetaMask button. And just that fast, I've added 2 networks to my MetaMask wallet. Just that quickly, right? Now, we're set up on both networks to receive our rewards. We got your NFTs hanging out on the Polygon network, where it's cheaper to move those things around and send them if you want to. And then we got your bonuses dripping out over on the Binance network. And why we doing that is because most of the value in cryptocurrency is over on the Binance network. So, but once you get those two set up, for the most part, you're good to go, right? You're good to receive those bonuses, right? Now, if you want to take it a step further and get your own drip program started, well, head on over to drip.network, or sorry, drip.community. Excuse me. So once you get over to drip.community, what you want to do is you want to take this long phrase right here, these characters, right? You want to copy these. We're going to do that now. So we copied it. We're going to come over to our drip community page after it loads up. And we're going to go to faucet at the top. So this is the drip network page, right? When you get to the home page, it's a very simple page, very simple graphics, tells you what it's about, right? So the official token of Drip Network is a BEP20 on the Binance Smart Chain that captures value by being scarce, deflationary, censorship resistant, and by being built on a robust and truly decentralized blockchain. All right, I'm not going to read all of this. But essentially, it works off of a series of taxes and minimums, which gives you that 1% growth a day. It's very similar to how a certificate of deposits works, I believe. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over to faucet, and we're going to scroll down to get a buddy, right? And I think I even have it here, right here. Enter this phrase into get a buddy under faucet tab. What tab we under? Faucet tab. Where is it? Get a buddy right there. We're going to paste get a buddy right in there and update it. And at that point, we're good to go. Once you're updated and set up here, you can come and you could put whatever you want in here, and it's going to pay out 10%, or sorry, it's going to pay out 1% daily in value in this available spot, right? Beauty is it's a decentralized protocol. It's beautiful. So there's no figurehead behind this. We can hop in and see exactly where the transactions are going on the blockchain. It's a lovely thing. But that's Drip Network in a nutshell. And this is our rewards in a nutshell. So if you got a level 5 NFT, you're seeing rewards high as 50%, right? And that's a decent amount of drip, especially when we get our drip pool up there to where, man, I'm not even going to put too many details out about that. But so we're going to be doing drip bonuses about twice a month, once a month for the lower ones and about twice a month for the higher ones. But if you have one of the highest, 50% off based off what we have inside of our own personal pool. And guess what? You don't have to contribute anything for these bonuses. Just because you're awesome and you own one of the NFTs, hey, we got you, right? And for those who don't know what Drip is, let me show y'all this here. Drip's been performing pretty well in my opinion. Once again, a humble opinion, right? Don't come for me, not your financial advisor. And do your research. I'm showing y'all where to look. And let's see here. Got to put that disclaimer out there because I was told by a close friend of mine that you should do that. Always put the disclaimer because you have people out there who I guess they don't know no better. So, all right. So this is Drip Network. Drip Network is at $131, down 2.7% for the day. But check this out. They're up 60% for the last 2 weeks. Down 14% for the last 7 days. But what isn't? A lot of crypto's been taking hits recently, just following Bitcoin, right? The market isn't moving in a unhealthy way. So, it's still following certain trends, right? We may have broken certain support zones, but there are other support zones that haven't even been touched, that we're not even close to. So, but hey, that's Drip in a nutshell. We can actually get a closer look at Drip, where the actual price is for the hour. It's kind of hard to tell on CoinGecko sometimes because it gives you a summation for the day. It's like this is your average. But if you want to look exactly what the price of drip is, we come over here to drip community, and I believe we can go here to the swap, and drip is actually at $144 a token right now, which it's not bad. You see where it thought it was, right? And it's actually at 144. It's actually what, $13 more than that. Yeah, it's not bad. We'll get more. We'll get more. We'll get more in the drip later on. But for those who did join up, hey, thanks for stopping by, and let me make sure that I get. Hold on a second. All right, hold on 1 second here. Where is? Ha! Not a race. A marathon, man. Absolutely. I wish I knew how to like send messages from this little console I got over here. But like I said, without further ado, y'all got any questions out there? Hit me up. Y'all got my contact info, and crypto out.